Move to the freedom struggle, because here something happens. You know, there was an ancient concept in classical period of Indian history of sacred geography. It was the land that was regarded as sacred, and there were pilgrimage networks, there were associations between every landmark and some episode of the Ramayana or some episode of the Mahabharata and their heroes. But in the late 19th century, all this was transformed into the concept of Mother India. You know, Bharat Mata. Bharat Mata is not an ancient concept. Well, it is kind of implied in the ancient concept of sacred geography, but the term Bharat Mata does not occur in any ancient text. It is only from the late 19th century. Suddenly, and of course Bankim was one of the architects of this concept, suddenly this concept of the land as a sacred land and a culturally woven civilization became Bharat Mata. And this became a source of major inspiration to a lot of freedom fighters. We sang just earlier Bande Mataram, but is it a secular song? Yes or no? My answer is no. It's not secular. Why should it be secular? It doesn't claim to be secular. Bankim has absolutely no interest in secularism. He says this is our land, our nation to be born, because of course it was not yet born, is a goddess. Let us worship her as a goddess. There's no idea of secularism. So then, however, it became the mantra in 1905, as you know, of the awakening struggle for freedom, first of all in Bengal, where the entire population protested against the British partition of Bengal, 1905, and Bande Mataram suddenly was repeated in the streets. And I would like to point out that though certain Muslim politicians later on said we cannot repeat Bande Mataram because it involves bowing to something which is not the, Allah, and Islam forbids us from doing so, it is on record that the first demonstrations for a few months in the streets of Calcutta, Hindus and Muslims together demonstrated and sung Bande Mataram together. There are newspaper records to that effect. Anyway, that's a detail. The point is that this is what stirred the people. This unsecular song is what one of the ingredients in the awakening of the national movement. And you can find easily in all the writings of the great leaders of that movement, say Tilak, a lot of references to this concept. By the grace of Providence, we shall ere long be able to consolidate all the different sects into a mighty Hindu nation. This ought to be the ambition of every Hindu, he said in 1906. Sri Aurobindo, in his famous Uttapara speech, 1909, when he came out of prison, Alipur jail, said, I say no longer that nationalism is a creed, a religion of faith. I say that it is the Sanatana Dharma, which for us is nationalism. So what do we have here? Is this a secular concept of the nation or of nationalism? Not at all. And nor does it claim to be. So what's going on? Bipin Chandra Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Subramanya Bharati and his stirring poems on Bharat Mata and Mother India, all of them have the same concept of nationalism. I am not saying that all freedom fighters shared it. There are all kinds of shades and nuances, all the way to even atheism. For example, if I take Subhash Chandra Bose, nobody can accuse him of having been, let us say, a mistake or a religiously minded person. Nevertheless, he had very strongly behind his whole aspiration for freedom, he had this concept of Indian civilization. And he refers to it often. He says, for example, Indian nationalism is neither narrow nor selfish nor aggressive. It is inspired by the highest ideals of the human race, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Nationalism in India has instilled into us truthfulness, honesty, manliness, and the spirit of service and sacrifice. Even at the risk of being called a chauvinist, see, he's not afraid of being a chauvinist. Today, everybody is scared of being a chauvinist, but not he. I would say to my countrymen that India has a mission to fulfill, and it is because of this that India still lives. So he doesn't call it a mystical mission or a religious mission or a spiritual mission, but a mission of civilization. See? So it is not exactly the same, but it's not very different either. Let's come back now to the Constitution. So my point here was that the freedom fighters were animated, at least the most leading freedom fighters were animated by a certain idea of India, which was definitely not secular by our modern definition of secularism. Which is why you find modern historians, for example, Bipin Chandra, who wrote several volumes on the freedom movement, actually accusing all these of having been the roots of communalism in India. So they accuse quite openly. I could have given you quotations. They accuse Tilak, they accuse Sri Aurobindo, they accuse Bipin Chandra Pal of being the cause and the origin of Indian communalism. So this is a very interesting debate, but I want to come back to the Constitution because there we do have a major problem which is not faced as far as I can see.